Hello, dear friends and subscribers. Welcome to your today's edition of the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings, with your host Ram. And as far as today's Cricket Happening show is concerned, it's going to be just one match, the tour match between Mumbai and New Zealand, ending in a draw here. And but there was one silver lining for New Zealand in this particular on the third day, and that was Luke Ronchi, who was promoted to the batting order. He was told to open the innings with Martin Guptill. He went on to hit a century. Now, one thing that I could say that this century had some great significance. The reason being that for 2 days we saw the pitch in Mumbai pitch in the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi was absolutely unresponsive. There was nothing in the pitch. But today it was the tail was a bit different. We had the bowlers were getting some variable bounce, and besides that, the ball was turning. The spinners were in business, and that is the time. And one really knows the fact that this was something which the New Zealand coach definitely mentioned, that Luke Ronchi is one in their plans for sure in India, because they feel that Luke Ronchi is one who can really firmly deal with the Indian spinners. And today it was absolutely proved by Luke Ronchi, and thus it has also created a selection dilemma for New Zealand when the first test team would be selected. Because as you know, Martin Guptill and Latham are already there. Luke Ronchi has made a century now. Guptill has been struggling, and even today, Guptill was out very cheaply. He was out for, his score today, Martin Guptill making a blob today. He was out for zero. So, as far as the Mumbai was concerned, so just talking about this game here, Mumbai actually resumed on an overnight score, and they just waited for Ladd to actually get on to his century, as he finished on an unbeaten 100 of 99 deliveries, 8 fours and 7 sixes. A very impressive knock from S. Ladd, and that was it. There was not much to go after, and Mumbai actually declared the innings close at 464 for 8 declared. And now it was the turn for New Zealand to get on there after India took Mumbai took a good lead. And as far as the Kiwis were concerned, their start was not good. One definitely saw that there was signs of turn absolutely evident, and Vishal Dabolkar, the left-arm spinner, was the one who presented the Mumbai with a wicket first up, as Martin Guptill was beaten by the turn. Caught Yadav for naught. Santner was promoted. Luke Ronchi was promoted as an opener, and at the other end we had Mitchell Santner. But Mitchell Santner trying to really give the sort of coming down the track to the bowling of Shrikant Ladd, was stumped by Sheikh for 8. So that made it 24 for 2. After that, Bracewell offered a bit of resistance to Luke Ronchi, and Luke Ronchi was really playing some very good strokes. As I said, it didn't really matter for him, as I said, definitely there was the pitch was looking a bit responsive today, variable bounce, and also there was some turn for the spinners. But for Luke Ronchi, it didn't really matter. He was willing to use the sweep shot to good effect. He was also tonking the ball down the ground, and he was also cutting well. And Luke Ronchi was also, piercing the gaps in between the fielders when the spinners were bowling, and that really kept Ronchi into business, as Ronchi strode on. But at the other end, he kept on losing his partners. Bracewell was out for 17 with 2 fours and 1 6. Henry Nicholls had a bad game. He was out very cheaply for 1. Trent Boult was given some batting practice. He was promoted to the batting order. He mustered 15 of 3 fours. But BJ Watling did a decent knock of 43 with 5 boundaries when being stumped by Sheikh of the ball of Val Sankar. Tom Latham, who normally would be opening the innings, came pretty lower down the order, retired out for 25, Wagner 6, and Sodhi was out for naught. But Luke Ronchi, as I said, strode on in a mighty manner and saw to it that he was dealing with the spinners in a very, very firm manner, as he clobbered 107 with 15 fours and 3 sixes to his name. But New Zealand were all out for 235. Bowling, nothing to really talk about. 2 for 11 for Ladd, Gohill 2 for 61, 3 for 41 for Valsankar, and that was it. So the first warm-up match between Mumbai and New Zealand ending in a draw. But as I said, definitely causes a sort of a selection headache going into the Test series. It will be interesting to see. But Guptill has been failing, and Martin Guptill definitely on the subcontinent. His record has not been so good, and he also has a fallibility against the spinners. So that is something that will be taken note of. And Luke Ronchi, after having made a century, probably his chances have been really, really brightened. So I think it's going to be a 3-horse race. Tom Latham probably selects himself because of his the way he actually plays. But again, that will be another good litmus test for Latham too on the Tour of India. But Martin Guptill and Ronchi, I think it's a 3-horse race for the opening slot. But one has to wait and watch. Probably New Zealand might plump in for experience and probably give Guptill an opportunity, in my opinion. But one has to wait and watch. But definitely it caused a bit of a selection headache here. So the first match actually ending in a draw, and Mumbai, I thought, did very well, and New Zealand wouldn't be happy with this particular effort that they had on a wicket. I mean, one can't read too much into it, but definitely I would say Mumbai definitely deserves credit for putting up a very creditable performance against the Kiwis in the first two match. Now let's have a look at some cricket news here. As far as cricket news are concerned, the news coming in from Pakistan, Misbah-ul Haq has very clearly said that because he says that in Pakistan domestic calendar there are not much of 50-over matches. Probably they have a lot of 20-over matches and other matches, but 50-over games are pretty rare. And he says that is something that Pakistan needs to seriously consider and include in the calendar every time, because he feels that is really causing a lack of one-day exposure to all the players. And also another thing that he has said is that Pakistan definitely possesses a lot of talent, but due to lack of exposure as far as in the domestic tourneys where the 50-over cricket is not played much, it definitely says that it really affects Pakistan in a big way. Other than that, from Bangladesh, the news is that one would remember this name from Sri Lanka, Thilan Samaraweera, who was a very, very effective batsman in Test matches. In fact, in a brief career that he had, he reeled off a lot of centuries, and he was a sort of a crisis man for Sri Lanka once upon a time, always batting in the middle order. But today he will be, he has joined his mate, Hathura Singhe, who's the coach of the Bangladesh cricket team, and both would be actually working together. He's joining as a new batting consultant, as you would remember. Other than that, there is a story which comes in. This is the England all-rounder Ben Stokes, who was clattered for 4 sixes in the T20 World Cup by West Indies. Carlos Brathwaite did it to Ben Stokes. And we also know there were a few skirmishes that happened between the mercurial all-rounder Ben Stokes at the other end, the other controversial character in the West Indies team, Marlon Samuels, who has always been in the news. He had his run-in with Shane Warne, the former Australian great leg spinner and commentator right now. And also, so Ben Stokes has really come in saying that Marlon Samuels lacks respect, and he has that is a sort of a book, an autobiography that Ben Stokes has charted out, and in that he says that Marlon Samuels does not have any respect. That's what he has mentioned. So one does not know what are going to be the repercussions of that. I'm sure Marlon Samuels has not yet come up with any statement, but knowing Marlon Samuels as far as his character and nature is concerned, I'm not going to be surprised with some definitely some sharp and choice words coming in from Marlon Samuels in response to what Ben Stokes has actually mentioned about Marlon Samuels. And I think there is going to be a sort of a bit of needle going on between England and the West Indies now after after Ben Stokes has been quite outspoken as far as Marlon Samuels is concerned. So one has to really see what really is going to be the outcome of this sort of a stirred up controversy now after the words that Ben Stokes mentioned. Well, but one hopes that really doesn't go out of proportion. But knowing Marlon Samuels, I'm sure the response is about to come for sure. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that is as well. So today there's not much to really dwell on. So that's the reason I just went over here. And hope you all like this cricket broadcast of mine as I normally do. And hope to catch up with you tomorrow. That's on Monday on my next Cricket Happening show. Until that happens, this is your host Ram signing off for the day. Thank you.